Hello, this is Valerie Aiello, and you are listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. All right, so today I just wanted to talk about this one YouTuber. I feel like the word YouTuber is going to shift into something else. I'm not sure what, but there definitely is a shift in, I don't know, maybe how we describe people. You know how in this day and age, it's kind of almost hard to explain what you actually do if you don't just have a normal job where you collect a paycheck or own a business that is very obvious to people what you do. It gets a little tricky when you're, say, a graphic designer plus these other revenue streams. And I'm sure it gets even more tricky when you're an influencer or whatever you want to call it, somebody that gets paid off of um affiliate marketing or something like that. And even more so when you tell people, "Oh, I make money off of Amazon Live." That's a huge thing that is exploding right now. I'm not sure when it'll go full mainstream. It's definitely bringing a lot of people to going live and filming and all that jazz. Long story short, tangent of whatever I'm talking about right now. There is a YouTuber that I used to like to watch. She would make YouTube videos about making money on YouTube or having digital products and different things like that. And her name is Adele. I'm going to mess up her last name because I've never actually heard her pronounce it. So I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but her name is Adele Ramcharan, something like that. So I'm just going to call her Adele. And I will leave her channel link in the description of the show. And I I just really like her. She's kind of quiet, a real deep thinker. She can tell a good story. She obviously has some magnetism qualities because I feel like I'm really drawn to her. Whatever her video's about, I don't watch every single video, but when she has a video, whether it's long or short, I'm just kind of curious about what she's talking about because she's always kind of talking about something interesting. And it might not always be about her personal life, although she does talk about her personal life. It's you know, whatever she's talking about, it's kind of like philosophy, life philosophy type of stuff. And she's not a know it all or anything like that. And I just really like her vibe. And she had on her Instagram, she had posted that she was doing a live webinar and you can sign up for it. I saw that about Sunday, 3 o'clock. I just happened to check my phone. And um, the webinar was like in 2 hours. So I just thought, hey, I'm just going to sign up for this. And I don't know. I was just curious about her in real time. So I logged in and I listened to her with some other people in the group on a Zoom call, and we got to do some Q&A with her. So I feel like it being last minute and all, she definitely had a lot of people in there, which is awesome. That's a pretty good accomplishment. And she maybe wasn't prepared for Q&A, but she took a few questions, and it just overall she was kind of just talking about what she was going to do next, because I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what's the next thing. We're in social media 2.0. We're in YouTube land, I don't know, 3, 4.0, I'm not sure yet. It's had a lot of transformations. But yeah, so she was kind of like talking about what she's going to do next, and she did tell this one story which I found it noteworthy, which is why I want to tell you guys about it. It's that she told this story about this woman who moved to another country with her husband, and they just got married. So they had a car in this other country, and they had the just got married sign on the back of the car. And they were driving around, and people were honking and cheering for them. And she just decided that that was fun, and so she kept the "just married" sign on the back of the car for a few months. So, one day she noticed that the sign was gone, and she asked her husband, "Where's the 'just married' sign?" And he had said, "Oh, I took that off months ago." Kinda thinking like, "Why would you think that's still on there?" He had taken it off months ago. But she was thinking that everywhere she goes, people are honking at her, and she's smiling and waving back, and what she ended up realizing, because she was trying to figure out, "Why is everyone honking at me while I'm driving?" Well, she had been driving wrong in this country the entire time that she had been there, I guess a few months, and people were actually mad, and they were honking at her out of anger, and they were it was just like all this negative energy every time she was driving somewhere, just like negative energy with horns honking going at her. And the whole time she thought they were celebrating her or just trying to be fun and smiling. So it was like months of all these negative thoughts totally at her. And she had no idea. And she actually thought all those thoughts were totally positive. So, that was just kind of like a very interesting aha moment of just it made me feel like, you don't have to be um self-conscious, and you don't have to be worried about people laughing at you necessarily because they might be, but if you don't even know about it or if you actually think the laughter is cheering you on, it doesn't really matter. Your own perception is what actually matters. I know that can be a slippery slope of going into a delusional zone, but I really do think that it's not delusion if you just want to do what you want to do and you want to feel better about it. Kind of like how it was probably crazy to see a green-haired punk rocker in the late 70s, early 80s, but the people that did it were having fun, and that's not delusional. And it got to a point where some people would think you're hot because you have a green mohawk. It's just like your own ideas in your brain and having fun with it and celebrating yourself. I think that is the most important part. Even if you're crazy, let's say you are absolutely insane and everything you do sucks, but you're having a lot of fun doing it, you're supporting yourself, you are totally functioning, but in reality, you might not be funny, like even though you're a comedian, or you might not be a good artist, even though you're an artist. It doesn't really matter if you're doing what you want to do and enjoying yourself and having fun. I just feel like that story really represents possibly, getting some confidence and being able to block out the negative energy. She'd also talked about this study where six students in a classroom, a whole classroom full of kids, six students from a classroom were gifted basically. And the teacher was told, "Okay, out of all the kids in your class, 6 of these students are gifted. So, you know, you don't have to change or do anything different, but just know they're exceptionally smart and they're in your class." But really, it was just a study. The kids didn't test any higher than the other kids. The study was just to tell the teacher that these kids were smarter. And by the end of the year, those 6 kids that weren't any smarter, but the teacher thought they were, excelled substantially more than any of the other kids. And it was just like this idea and the perception of the kids being smarter, even though they weren't told. The teacher that was in charge of teaching them thought that they were, and that helped them grow powerful. So your positive thought can actually make someone else's life better. If you think they're funny and nobody else does, kind of like Billy Corgan with Smashing Pumpkins, there's a lot of people who hate his voice and cannot stand it. And there's a lot of people that love his voice, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, his voice can be annoying, but I also think the way he composes songs and uses his voice is really cool and beautiful. So, you know, think positive for other people and think positive for yourself, and don't think about the naysayers because ultimately it doesn't really matter. That's the show for today. Hope to see you two guys tomorrow, and I will catch you later. Thanks for coming. Bye.